Meeting to order. Everyone please rise for the allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Gibson. Colosimo.
Present.
Pat. Olszewski. Here. Mutz.
Here.
Buckhauser.
Here.
Spears.
Present.
Teeling.
Here.
Quorum is established.
Do we have any amendments to the agenda tonight?
I'd like to remove Public Works Committee report, Public Works number 1, and send it back to Public Works for them to discuss.
Public Works Committee report. Need a motion or anything for that? Or?
Consent agenda.
Yes.
So I would move to remove Public Works 1 and send it back to Public Works Committee for discussion.
That would be when it comes up forward. You can do it that way. It would be a motion and a second.
You want me to just wait till it comes up?
Or that would be a motion to table. It's your pleasure call, Mr. Chair.
Wait till it comes up.
All right.
Any other amendments to the agenda? We do have one presentation tonight, swearing in of Patrol Officer Sarah Gerlach. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Sarah Black,
Having been appointed to the office of Patrol Officer
having been appointed to the office of patrol officer
for the United City of Yorkville
for the United City of Yorkville
and the County of Kendall aforesaid,
in the county of Kendall, aforesaid,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Patrol Officer
the duties of the office of patrol officer
of the United City of Yorkville Police
of the
Department
United City of Yorkville Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Welcome aboard. Glenn, you got a good one now?
Yep. Back to sit. We'll take a nice picture while I'm
You want to bring some family up? Or?
Yes.
Come on up for a picture.
Everybody else is checking it out, huh?
Congratulations, Sarah.
Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we do have a public hearing. So I'd like to open a public hearing for the Grand Reserve Amended Annexation Agreement and Planned Unit Development Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Do we need a roll call or no? No. Okay. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak on the Grand Reserve Annexation Agreement? Okay. So I would like to close public hearing for the Grand Reserve Amended Annexation Agreement. Easy night tonight. And this will come back in 2 weeks for a vote, Bart?
Yes.
So moved. Just for the record. No, we don't need to do. All right.
Next, we have citizen comments. Are there any citizens in the audience who would like to make a comment to the city council?
Wait for other citizens or?
Either way, you can go now, Mr. Slocum, or...
Very good. Thank you, Mayor, Alderman. My name's Rick Slocum, citizens, and newest member of the Yorkville Police Department. Congratulations. My name's Rick Slocum. I'm running for Senate in the 25th. And I want to know a little bit about me, a little bit about my plans. 25th Senatorial District in the state of Illinois is a large district. I could take probably 20 minutes and try and explain it to you, have maps. But basically down in this area, it's in the shape of an H, and it goes from Route 4771 up to the west side of Oswego. It dips across the Fox River into Oak Creek subdivision, some area there, goes to the eastern edge of Plano, and goes all the way up to Campton Hills. That's on through Elburn and Sugar Grove. In Batavia, it's the middle of the H that bridges to the other side, right through downtown Batavia, goes all the way to Route 59. And that side, it drops down to 6 precincts in Naperville, Stonebridge, and it goes all the way to South Elgin. It goes into Cook County and Hanover Township. Comes down through Wayne, East St. Charles, East Batavia, Geneva, and so forth. Again, I've been a citizen of Sugar Grove and Aurora for 33 years. I practiced law in Kane and Kendall County and DuPage County that entire period of time, business transactions, family law. My background in the community, I've served numerous terms on the staff parish at Wesley Methodist Church in Aurora. I've served on fundraisers for Aurora University, and I've served 16 years on the West Aurora School Board, 4 as president. During that time, we built over $100 million in buildings, and yet during that time, we had one of the lowest per pupil expenditures throughout the Kane County school districts. Now, we're moving forward. At this point, the state of Illinois is in a situation where we have a revenue problem. I mean, we don't have a revenue problem, but we have an expenditure problem. We've got to address the taxes and the issues of expenditures and what's going on with those amounts of money. Recently, as you all know, we raised the income tax in the state 67%. We raised the corporate rate, and yet the latest news is we're still $7 billion overdrawn in our expenditures, and we have pension expenditures and amounts due of over $100 billion. My position is we have to reduce the expenditure side. We have to look at every program, every department, and say, what are we doing to reduce these expenditures and make this a more business-friendly state? When you have the governor of South Dakota soliciting businesses from the state of Illinois, when you've got Governor Christie from New Jersey spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in the Springfield paper and the Chicago Tribune to solicit jobs from Illinois, which is at the crossroads of America with all types of transportation. There's something wrong with the business climate here. We have to change that. I pledge that, and I pledge to be involved in the communities. There's over 14 municipalities in this district, and I'm sensitive to the issues that the state now has attempted to balance its budget even on the back of the municipalities by taking back, possibly trying to take back some of that revenue. I'll be available. I have pass-outs here for you. Please check my website. It's www.slocumforsenate.com. Send me an email. Give me some information as far as what you think about the comments and positions on that. Thank you for the time to make a presentation.
Please sign in, sir.
Yes.
You can just give the handouts to Mr. Powell. I'll pass them around.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Lynn Dubacek, and I was here a few weeks ago to talk to all of you about the bike path, the Kennedy Road bike path. And I wanted to provide you with an update as to what we've accomplished since I was last here. The formal organization has been applied for from the state of Illinois. The organization is called Push for the Path. We have also reserved the website name and we have 3 officers and directors of the corporation. They are John Ammons, who is the owner and president of Wheatland Title. And if any of you are familiar or not familiar, Wheatland Title is one of our largest private employers here in Yorkville. They have a multi-million-dollar investment in our community located right on Route 34, just west of Route 47. Myself, and I'm the executive director of the Yorkville Economic Development Corporation and have been a resident for about 16 years. And the third person is Maureen Sharp, who's been a resident of Yorkville for about 13 years, and she is a local realtor. And the 3 of us will serve as officers and directors of Push for the Path. So we have that begun, and we, again, have the website secured with pushforthepath.org, but we also have reserved .com and .net and .biz to make sure that things get sent our way. And we are prepared, knowing what the structure of the financing of what the city is going to be requiring, starting in 2012-2013, the dollar amount is $19,000. Bill McHugh has had an annual golf outing for Darlene and Dan McHugh, and you know that's a vital component of this Kennedy Road bike path, or multi-use path, I should say. We have all committed to work with Bill and to revitalize that golf outing, and you know that's a very good source of funds to be coming in to be able to fund these dollar amounts that are required in the upcoming years. There is a year, it's 2016 to 2017, that there's going to be about $147,000 that is due. All the other amounts are $20,000 or less. So there's one year that's $7,000, but we're confident the golf outing itself will be able to provide those dollars. The year, obviously, that the construction is done, which is 2016-2017, that's $147,000. We are also looking into different foundations that we're going to be able to access. I've already talked to somebody from Wrigley and have access to the Wrigley Foundation, which they're very interested in participating and helping us to get some dollars. And when I talk about the golf outing, there are so many other fundraisers and different ways that we could get people involved. That's just one outlet, and that's an outlet that's been in existence for many years, since actually Dan passed away, which was in 2005. So I'm confident that with the leadership of John and Maureen and myself, that we'll be able to commit to you and fulfill our promise to raise these dollars. Also, I know that there is a federal grant for $1.387 million for this, that we're trying to fulfill the shortfall on that. And I know that there is a time frame on that will be coming up, and we don't want to lose those $1.387 million. And so we ask you to take a look at this and know that we're willing to take this from your plate and raise these dollars on behalf of the City of Yorkville under pushforthepath.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other citizen comment? Yes, sir.
Jesse Alaniz, Colonial Parkway, Your Honor. Good evening, Your Honor, members of this Honorable Council, citizens and members of the press. This evening, I would like to address our fellow citizens on our current state of government. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls on government would be necessary. Each and every empty chair that we see here is then a vote of confidence for this council. It is a vote from our citizens that this council may proceed in any way it sees fit. In a democracy, a federal government rules us and determines what rights we have or don't have by means of a majority vote. In the republic that was left to us, the government governs by the consent of the people, and the people are the supreme law of the land, and it is their law that is the law of the land. During this past month and a half, this council has had to make several hard decisions and in some instances, the mayor has had to cast a tire-breaking vote. This has not been an easy decision as seen by the expression on our mayor, but it is the one most consistent when our citizens don't participate in our government. It is morally wrong, then, to criticize our government when we refuse to participate, for a wheat field infested with chaff is not the fault of nature, but the cause of a sluggard owner. Government at all levels needs to hear your voice and your sentiment, and good government is as much as our responsibility, just as much as it is of those who are elected. Freedom has many difficulties. Democracy is not perfect, and when one man is enslaved, all are not free. The fires of discord and discontent burn in many cities, counties, and towns and states throughout our nation, threatening destruction and threatening violence. A great change is at hand, and I believe that our goal and our task must be that of taking back our country and nation, one city at a time, from an overreaching government at many levels through a peaceful process as we possibly can. My fellow citizens, I don't know where you stand, but as for I, an American of Mexican descent, will never demand that any ordinary American man, woman, or child lay down their life, liberty, or property for my sake as a human being. I would instead only count on your generosity as individual Americans and on God's grace if needed. Ignore then those negative voices of the politicians, the pundits, and the media, for Americans have always been willing to pay a price for their liberties, surrender or submission not being one of them. I therefore urge you to gather with friends, family, and neighbors to take turns in sacrifice at least 3 days out of the year to attend hearings and meetings such as these. For an empty hall cannot constitute a government of we the people, by the people, for the people. Thank you, and may God bless America. Thank you, Your Honor. I yield the floor.
Do we have any other citizen comment? All right, and I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Milczewski.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Buckhauser.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Cott.
Aye.
We have no minutes for approval. Moving on to mayor's report. Mayor's report number 1, I will entertain a motion to approve a resolution acknowledging satisfaction of a development agreement reserved at the Fox River Apartments and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second.
Comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Buckhauser.
Aye.
Milczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Cott.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve a grant of permanent fire hydrant easement agreement between Bridge Street Plaza and United City of Yorkville for 213 South Bridge Street and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved. Second.
Any questions on that one? Roll call, please.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Buckhauser.
Aye.
Milczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Cott.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, I will entertain a motion to authorize a reduction to the Comerica Bank Letter of Credit number 628335-04 and an amount not to exceed $328,925.02, subject to verification that the developer has no outstanding debt owed to the city for this project.
So moved.
Second. Comments, questions on that one? Yes, sir.
Well, on this one, I'm reluctantly going to vote for it. I just want to show that this is the perfect example of things, if they're rushed on the front end, how sooner or later we pay on the back end. So I'm going to vote for this because it needs to be done. We need to support our local business to make sure they remain here in Yorkville. But I'm not happy about it, so.
We changed it.
It's just Raging Waves.
You're doing Grand Reserve right now, right? You skipped over Raging Waves?
No, I did not.
No, we're doing Raging Waves.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes.
I got no problem with Grand Reserve.
Okay.
But with Raging Waves, it's, I'm going to vote for the reduction. Hopefully, we'll rebuild the collateral over the next couple of years with the taxes that we'll be holding back in escrow. But I just want to point out I'm not happy about it. We need to be a little more cautious in the future when we come up with these agreements and we approve things in the city.
Any other comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Milczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, and the second part of that is a motion to approve an ordinance amending requirements for improvement securities and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions on the
Is this for Grand Reserve?
No,
No.
this is the part B.
second part of,
3B.
yeah, 3B? Comments, questions on this? Roll call, please.
Munns.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Milczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, next is Grand Reserve. I'll entertain a motion to authorize reductions to letter of credit number S587587 in an amount not to exceed $8,680.85. Letter of credit number S587890 in an amount not to exceed $142,222.03. Letter of credit number S587891 in an amount not to exceed $161,207.87. Letter of credit number S591707 in an amount not to exceed $66,282.54. Letter of credit number S591705 in an amount not to exceed $89,053.63. Letter of credit number S591367 in an amount not to exceed $294,439.77. Letter of credit number S598664 in an amount not to exceed $251,770.79. Letter of credit number S594383 in an amount not to exceed $52,907.87. Letter of credit number S594384 in an amount not to exceed $53,265.94, subject to verification that the developer has no outstanding debt owed to the city for this project.
Can you repeat that?
Second.
Comments, questions on letter of credit reductions for Grand Reserve? Roll call, please.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Milczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Gilson. Pat.
Aye.
Munns.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And I'll gladly turn it over to Public Works Committee report. Vice Chair of Public Works is Larry? Jackie?
I keep it back to Diane.
Not me. Oh. I know that.
This is back to me. I entertain a motion to accept the ITEP Bike Path Grant Award for the Kennedy Road Shared Use Path. Make a motion.
You made the motion, we need a second.
Second.
Comments, questions on this?
I'll make a motion to table Public Works 2011-39 Public Works Committee at the next January meeting.
Second.
No discussion.
So already went through Public Works.
Roll call on the tabling.
No,
Questions on it or no?
no discussion on a motion to table.
None?
I just got a question. How did this end up back to the full council? It never was here before.
Can we discuss or we cannot discuss?
Well, we can discuss it and still table it. I mean, do you want to table it right away, or do you want to discuss it and then table it, or just, because if we're going to table it, there's no discussion. If we're tabling it, then there's no discussion.
Right. My motion stands, table it.
Okay, so we have a motion to table in a second. Roll call, please.
Teeling,
Nay.
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 Cott,
Aye.
Munns,
Nay.
Spears,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkhauser,
Nay.
Milczewski.
Nay.
Not table does not pass. It's a motion, and it only requires a majority of those present and voting.
So it is not tabled. So now back to the original motion. Comments, questions? Yes, sir.
All right. Well, my concern with this is this. There are certain ways that we have in our governing ordinances to how things end up on a city council agenda. It can be on the mayor's report, which obviously you have unilateral authority, Mr. Mayor, to put anything you want on your mayor's report. It's not on the mayor's report. It can come out of committee by a majority vote. This did not come out of committee. It failed out of the Public Works Committee 3-1. It can be put on the agenda by 4 sitting aldermen. There's no indication that 4 aldermen have requested that this be put on the agenda. So how do things just show up on our agendas? If one person has the unilateral authority to put things on our agenda, then why do we have committees? Why do we have an ordinance that says 4 aldermen need to put items on the agenda? Things can't just pop up on an agenda. We either follow our rules or we don't follow our rules. And that's my concern with it. It should go back to Public Works. If it needs a decision of the council, then it comes out of Public Works with a negative recommendation, and then we vote on it in City Council. It doesn't just pop up on the agenda mysteriously. That's my concern with it.
Well, I think there is a negative recommendation in the memo.
Yeah, it said 3-0 negative. But
Yes. I'd be happy to comment on that. I looked at the precedent and the ramifications of allowing 3 aldermen, albeit a majority of the committee, potentially outweighing the majority of the city council. I don't for sure obviously know how the votes are going to go for this. I think I can anticipate that it would probably be voted down based on the negative recommendation. And I wanted that formally before I sent off a letter to IDOT. So I didn't think the city council would want me in the future, even though there was a majority recommendation in a committee, to create an obligation of the city council and ship off a letter to IDOT that says, we reject this grant based on a committee vote, and, you know, we're turning down $1.4 million. So I was simply asking for direction one way or the other to come from the entire city council on something that the city council has previously authorized us to do. So that's the reason why I decided to request it to move forward, just to get final recommendation.
Charlie, you want to stay on the same train of thought, or?
Well, I just want to, so then, are we in essence, what we're doing here is a committee of a whole? I mean, why do we have individual committees on different subjects? If we're going to bring subjects out to discuss as a whole anyway, then we're wasting our time with our committees. Our committees are in essence useless. Because if something happens in committee and the vote is not appreciated or liked or it just dies in committee, if it's going to end up in front of the whole council, then we might as well just go to every Tuesdays and alternate committees of the whole and be done with it. I mean, what's the purpose of having a committee?
Sure. I think the difference here lies in the distinction that the city council had prior authorized this expense and this grant to take place. There are a lot of things that would proceed forward to committee, get talked about, debated, and would die, that I would have absolutely no quarrel in saying, okay, this should die here because, this is the direction of the city council. But the fact that it was prior authorized and essentially you're turning down, $1.4 million in revenue that had been previously authorized, I just didn't want to get into a situation in the future where I was stuck between a committee telling me to do things and potentially the rest of the city council telling me to do something completely different. That's it.
Rose?
I would have to argue that. That is how our procedures are set. We have many committee meetings in order to set and establish the right procedures. So I think that, and if we're going to follow what a previous council established, I don't think we can continue to do that. Why do we not follow what our residents voted against as far as the BIPAC referendum? Twice they voted against it. And then this city, some members of this council, decided, well, forget what they voted on, we're doing it our way. So again, this to me is an example of not following the procedures that this council did establish. It should have gone to committee and then come here for further discussion if it did pass. And that's how we have it set up. So irregardless of what the subject is, I don't think that staff or one council member or somebody can say, we'll disregard that because this subject is important to me or the city or, and that's what it appears to be, and I'm sure it's not. I give you that benefit. It's not that you wanted to give everybody, but again, to follow procedures, this should go back to committee.
Jackie?
And when this was in Public Works, more things have come up with Lynn Dubicek, and we didn't have that information when it was at Public Works. I see both sides. I agree with you, because that is our procedure, but then I also understand where Bart's coming from. I guess, number one, when do we have to get back to IDOT, whether we're accepting this or...
Your mandatory deadline is the end of January, and my comment would have been about tabling is, since it's been presented to the entire city council, no action is the exact same action and direction to staff as a negative vote on this. So as long as everybody's aware of that and aware of the legal obligation you're creating by taking no action, I'm fine with that. This is a policy decision. I don't want to debate any of the aldermen as to your role and my role on voting something and putting a majority. I just didn't want us to get into a situation in the future where we've got 3 aldermen to say one thing, the other 5 think the other way, without at least bringing it to somebody's attention. So.
No, I see both sides of it. I think that maybe I agree then with Carlo that maybe we have time, it should get tabled back to Public Works, so we would have more time to hear out Lynn and her group and hear what they're doing and how they're coming along, because that kind of affects us.
Mr. Mayor, the motion made that was voted down was a motion to table, which is a motion not subject to discussion. The original motion, which was not seconded, that Alderman Colosimo made, was a motion to return it to committee. They're 2 separate motions, because the motion to table would bring it right back here and not accomplish what your original motion, which was never seconded. So I think you as a chair would have the right to rule if you would entertain a motion to send this back to committee.
Excuse me, Kathy, I did second his original motion.
It was never voted on. It was then we went to a motion to table so that there wouldn't be discussion.
So doesn't it come back to us now to vote on the original motion?
The motion to table was voted down. So now we have 2 choices. We could either go with the final vote on it, or we could entertain a motion to return it back to Public Works.
So Carlo already made that, and I second it. Do we have to do it again?
Yes. Because
I make a motion. I make a motion to send it back to Public Works.
Second.
And you would recognize that motion?
Sure.
Okay.
We have discussion on that?
You may have discussion on that. That is not a motion to table.
Just like the...
That is a motion to move it to a certain place, certain.
Do we have any comments or questions on the motion?
Don't laugh at me. It's true.
Marty?
Yeah, just because I'm not on public, no. So just a couple comments on it. Yeah, this is a tough issue, been bouncing around for a long time, but basically it's an issue of providing amenities to the city of Yorkville. Businesses won't locate to Yorkville unless there's enough rooftops, so that means less tax base. Yorkville will not have enough rooftops to attract business unless Yorkville has reasons for people to move here. So it's kind of like the dog chasing its tail. If the businesses don't locate here, taxpayers continue to fund all of the tax base, unlike a town like Orland Park that has heavy retail that city taxpayers pay no city tax because all the business pays the taxes. So we do have some good amenities here. You know, we got a nice, safe town, decent shopping, raging waves, some good restaurants now. The river downtown starting to be developed. But if you can't get to all these places, I don't know if people are going to live here. So it's kind of like, do we let the town become a ghost town and nobody moves here and it just keeps getting worse? Or do we take a chance and do some amenities? And again, I'm not saying this is the amenity that's going to bring everybody to Yorkville, but eventually we got to have reasons for people to move to Yorkville. So the business would follow the people and they pay the taxes for the residents. So it's kind of like sometimes you got to take one step back to go two forward. So that's my comments on it.
Larry?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I voted against this in committee mainly because I don't think we can afford it. Now, if somebody wants to step forward and pay the city share, I'm all for it. I mean, I voted for the Route 47 and Route 71 trails. I think they're great, but I don't think we can afford it right now. I have no problem going back to committee with this and reviewing the potential of somebody else footing our share of it. But I don't know how that's going to work, because that's nothing more than a promise at this point in time. And I don't think IDOT wants to enter into an agreement based on a promise that somebody else is going to pay the city's share. So, but if we want to bring it back to committee, I'll support that.
Anyone else? Okay, I think that's the right move. Send it back to committee, further discussion, and take it from there. Roll call, please.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Buckhauser.
Aye.
Milszewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Muns.
All right.
Motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question too? Sure. As far as the procedural thing, are we going to have to put that on an agenda to discuss sometime? Because I do agree with, if we have one way to do things, because otherwise, like we said before, either the committee has the power to move forward or they don't. If it doesn't, the committee's kind of a waste of time. So
I know, and maybe you can comment on this, but I remember years ago on EDC, I had an issue in front of us. It was a zoning issue. I wanted to kill it in committee. But the lawyer there, argued vehemently with me that a committee can't kill a zoning decision. You need a majority of the city council. So I don't know where you lay it. What can and can't be killed in committee? Maybe that's a conversation for another day. That's something we can take.
Well, basically, how we've been able to deal with our rules is that the mayor has been the deciding factor in putting it on the mayor's report, which no one can obstruct. But the fact remains that the advice from my predecessor with regard to zoning is absolute, because our zoning code doesn't provide for the committee procedure. So maybe the thing for us to do is to look at it and distinguish those instances where we cannot follow our committee rules and where we can strictly follow our committee rules, because we have to abide by the laws of the state of Illinois, and we also have to always make sure that an applicant for zoning process gets due process. So it is the subject for another day, but you can see how it's distinguished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, theoretically, even the road study should have been killed in committee because there was only 2 votes to move it forward. Mm-hmm. But then it ended up coming here. So we can put that on the admin committee agenda and discuss it some more. Okie dokie. On to the no EDC report, no public safety report, administration committee report.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the form of the RFP to be used for soliciting proposals from waste haulers for the city's solid waste refuse collection program from May 1, 2012 through April 30th, 2017.
Second.
Comments or questions on that one? I know Bart had contact with Dwight over in Oswego. You want to update us on that?
Yeah, they have a city or a village board meeting there. It's their first one in January. I forget the date. But they are going to be entertaining, potentially joining us in a bid. So they have a little bit more to talk about. Our garbage services are a little bit more comprehensive than theirs are. And we've already, I think, established pretty well that we don't want to change our garbage services down to their level. So they have to decide whether they want to have the same service as us or potentially not reap the benefit of doing a joint bid. And hopefully we will know by mid-January, which still gives us time to get out the RFP. So that is one potential option, is we could wait another couple meetings and hopefully get a lower overall bid if we join with Oswego.
So do we want to table this for 2 weeks or go ahead and approve it with the idea that you'll still talk with Oswego?
I think it would be acceptable to approve it, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's take this off our plate.
And then if something changes, we can bring it back.
An RFP does not require council approval, literally, but it's a practice in this city so that the city council always knows what is the major services being bid out for. So in this instance, yes, if you approve the general format of the bid, what we do, if you approve it, is report back to the city council the changes that may be mandated in the event there is a joint bid effort on the part of Oswego and the city.
You'd be approving the form of the RFP under the assumption that I would not publish it until we received further direction from Oswego, and then us.
Then it's off your plate unless something major.
Yes, sir.
Just one other issue on that. If we do partner together with Oswego, the termination of contract clause that we have in here, the notification, if we ultimately do partner, I think that we may want to have that language included that if one of the two parties terminates a contract, it does not affect the other contract.
Of course.
I don't, quite frankly, having experience with joint municipalities going out for bid, we're not going to succeed in the bid if one party has the right to sever the contract, because then what's the point of it going to joint?
It's all or nothing. If it's terminated.
We will be mandated to work together with a termination date and reasons for termination and price, et cetera, et cetera. We may not even want to go with their system of pickup because every community has different ideas of what is necessitated by their residents.
Anyone else?
I just remind everybody the same thing I said in committee when we went over this in admin. The one thing that I constantly get from my residents when they call me is, don't mess with my garbage services. They like what we have. They like the service. I'm not for changing it for any reason. So let's be very cautious before we jump in. I think we should proceed forward. We're a self-governing body. We have an RFP. We put it out, get our bids, and proceed. If Oswego is then interested in joining us, we'll listen to what they have to say, but I also am not in favor of sitting around waiting for Oswego either. We need to get our business done. Our contract is up in May. I want to make sure we have a new contract. We're signed on the bottom line so we have no uninterrupted garbage services to our residents. So.
It's garbage pickup is something we do right, so let's not screw it up. Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Hutt.
Aye.
Muntz.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Milszewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Do we have any park board report? No. Any planning commission report? ZBA? No. No city council report, city clerk report? City treasurer's report? Any community and liaison reports? Yes, sir.
Just a quick one on YEDC. I attended the mayor last time. YEDC is alive and well. They lost a few members in 2011, but it's kind of stabilized, and the goal for 2012 is to do recruiting for more business or get the business that have dropped off back on. Actually, even though the membership is down, the revenue for 2012 is forecasted about $11,000 more, $211,000 compared to $200,000, and the expenses actually only went up $3,000 from $205,000 to $208,000. So, if anybody knows any business in town that has dropped off, I encourage them to get back on in 2012 and continue to make the YEC a viable force where they're trying to attract new business.
Any other reports? Going once? All righty. No staff, any staff reports?
No report.
Any additional business?
You know, I have one thing. Is our garbage going to be delayed this week?
Yes, one day, this week and next.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
One day.
Yeah, mine was
Thank
picked
you.
up today, and I usually have
With the New Year's Day.
Yeah, so it's a later day.
It's a later day, yep.
Good question. I called.
Okay, we do have one executive session, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session for no more than 10 minutes.
So moved.
Oh, for the purchase or lease of real property.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Spears. Aye. Milszewski.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Hutt.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Muntz.
Aye.
Motion passes.